Hi, this is going to be an energy read on the late Aaliyah. So, I went into meditation, I was channeling today, and I was actually trying to talk to Lane Stanley from Alice in Chains, because y'all know I'm a rocker. And he is always too busy to talk to me. And he was telling me he's actually celebrating Day of the Dead right now, so I should talk to his friend. And I'm like, what? Here you go with this all the time with the never having time. Okay, who's your friend? And I start hearing back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. And here comes Aaliyah. And here comes Aaliyah's music. So who would have known? And I start talking to Aaliyah. So how I do these reads is we talk about the messages that I felt, saw, and heard in meditation. I then interpret the person's birth chart. So we'll go over Aaliyah's birth chart. Then I'll do a tarot card reading on the energy, and we'll just talk about it. And so I was very shocked and surprised, but let me tell you, this girl's energy is like absolutely nothing I have ever felt before. She is definitely one in a million, huh? And it was funny to me too, because she's like, you don't really like me. And I said, I don't have a problem with you. I'm just a rocker, but I've always liked you. I grew up in the 90s. I played your song at my wedding, one in a million. Anyway, I don't like the energy that's attached to the business that she was in, and that's what we're going to talk about. So lo and behold, Aaliyah came through, and that energy is super strong, super intelligent, super independent. She was born January 16th, 1979 in Brooklyn, New York. She's a Capricorn. She died August 25th, 2001 at Marsh Harbor in the Bahamas. This August was actually 20 years since Aaliyah's death. She was 22 years old when she died. Aaliyah was born into this life and many other lives over and over again. She has been born reliving this karma, and she showed me that. Beautiful, beautiful woman. When he told me, talk to my friend, and her energy and her image started coming through, my goodness, absolutely stunning, this woman. Gorgeous, you know? And the thing is, her karma, and you can see it in her eyes, and you can see in her videos and all her pictures, there's something behind the eyes there. And I see it over and over again. When we talk about human trafficking, and when we talk about pedophilia, and we talk about child brides, you know, we think of these terrible third world countries, blah, blah, blah. No, this stuff is happening in every neighborhood, place, society, whatever, all over the world. It always has. And in Hollywood and in the music industry, these people are exploited. And, you know, I've done a DMX reading when he first passed on, and I was so interested in, it was interesting to me, I should say, how Aaliyah's energy and DMX energy and, oh my goodness, all these people are just absolutely intertwined. And these contracts go back beyond just here in the earth, you know, where you're in the industry and it's jobs and employments and contracts and things like that. No, it goes beyond that, and I've explained that before. It is actual soul karmic contracts, and Aaliyah's soul karma has been reliving this. As I said, she was born into this, and so, and many other lifetimes born into this, and it's like she's a human sacrifice, a virgin sacrifice, a child bride, a slavery to, you know, the elite, and in this lifetime, the entertainment elite. And, you know, in other lives, it was like she was showing me, oh, I was always a chosen one of royalty, or, you know, something special, or some kind of family descent. And every past life was always something like this, to where she was a child bride, a child sacrifice, you know, died young. This is the karma that her soul has continued to do. And she showed me that this is just like what they've been using for her for over and over again. And actually she flashed like Britney Spears, and I was like, yeah, that's the one in the media right now that we see going through that with that energy. And I don't care that they say she was just freed. I see this girl's pictures and I'm just thinking she looks so sad, poor Britney. Anyway, so yeah, it's like that kind of thing. And I do believe that Aaliyah, her intelligence level and her soul karma and what she has learned, how she has been able to, there's some kind of teaching, learning, even when she was here, her messaging, her music, she was really one of a kind. And now on the other side, she is learning and able to do things on all levels, the 3D level, the fifth dimension level, all these different levels. And it's really amazing. But even here, she was super smart. This girl was really, really smart here. In this life, she was like a 4.0, GPA intelligence. I mean, I'm not kidding. She was super smart. So, and then she had this music ability and, all this stuff. But what she shows me is like, yeah, she is going into reincarnation and it's going to start all over again. And we'll see a young girl. She shows me a young girl with braids, and this young girl is actually her, reincarnated, the energy coming up again. We'll see this debut child star in the music industry or in the movie industry or something along that. And, it's Aaliyah's energy reincarnated. So again, it's over and over. And she takes me back to the beginning of this life here. And she knew from like a very young age that she was meant to perform. It was just like what was always known. And she just knew, and she was groomed, and she was, just prepared for it her whole entire life. And she knew that she had to perform, she had to sing, she had to be an entertainer. She was groomed immediately. Her path was chosen. Deals were made for her from the beginning. It's just the way that it goes. And she wanted to be great at everything. It was who she was and her energy, that perfectionist, that, I got to do everything right all the time and to make everyone happy. And what I love is how they like to say, oh, she was just a girl from Detroit and she just got lucky. And they sell you this pipe dream all the time that these people were fucking out of Walgreens one day and some fucking talent agent spotted them and they got their big break. That is not how this happens. Aaliyah is of, R&B royalty. Here we go again, this lifetime, back to the royalty thing and stuff, right? Like she had said, keeps going, soul contract after soul contract. This is what she's been used for. This lifetime, R&B royalty. Don't get it fucking twisted. This girl wasn't no normal girl in Detroit growing up. No. She knew people like Quincy Jones, and Gladys Knight was her aunt, and her uncle was married to Gladys Knight. And I mean, deals were made from the very beginning. And who she was, being a perfectionist, being very intelligent, being smart, being dedicated, having a sense of like OCD, extreme focus to do everything to perfection, to the best of her ability. But there was that restriction. And that restriction, which it always comes with, ties. Restriction on her creativity, restriction on her freedom, a restriction on who she really wanted to be. This whole look right here was all what they were pushing, the music industry, the agenda, whatever it was. That's what they were pushing, because this is what they always do. Because like I said, it's all about the money. It's all about the greed. It's all about the power. It's all about the fame. And, being of that elite, R&B family and royalty. Everybody knows somebody. You would be surprised even now. Billie Eilish, her parents have been in the entertainment industry for like 20 years. Her mom's like a very famous actress. This girl was homeschooled. Katy Perry, homeschooled. They're, taken and groomed to be from the beginning, and they sell you this image and this story, and they put these girls out there, but this isn't even who they are. It's all about this agenda. It's all about the money. It's all about the greed. It's all about the music industry. It's all about these contracts. Like DMX said, I will never forget signing those contracts, and then it was turning to blood. And it's all a show. And like I said, they sell you this story. Oh yeah, I got my big break. No. Everybody knew somebody. Everybody was involved in somebody else's, whatever, business somehow, some way. That's how it always goes. And there's restriction on her creativity and restriction on her freedom. And she realizes that it is just, I'm used as this prop and for this agenda. And she flashes me Beyonce. And she makes the comment, yeah, she's real nice. And I said, yeah, I hear that a lot. And she says, well, she was also my replacement. And that was the thing. The agenda was moving, and it was headed to a different approach and a different look. And they wanted to switch the narrative to, what it is today. And Beyonce, transformed into that, bought into that, whatever. And Aaliyah didn't fit that, and she wasn't willing to do that, and she didn't fit that look and that style and that agenda anymore. And Aaliyah, being who she is, very smart, very, introverted, but very outspoken with what she knows and what she feels and what she believes. And she still had this sense of goodness and innocence. See, because over and over again, she's young, right? The life ends young, but there's this sense of being connected to God. These people don't like that, but she did keep this connection to God. She did love her family. She did choose her relationships based on love over money. She did do these kind of things within her personal life here on earth. And Beyonce was like that replacement, and it switched. I don't know. It's so hard to kind of explain. But at the same time, Aaliyah was rebelling. She was doing her music her way, and she was defining their will, and she was breaking contracts, right? She was breaking contracts, and she went and she was doing her own thing with a different label, and, she was doing her music her way with Missy Elliott and things like that. And you know what? People loved it. They loved her, right? People loved her energy, her music, her message. There was something about her that everyone, even when she dropped this whole look and everything and switched it up, she made her own name for herself. After, R. Kelly was not producing her music anymore, and we'll talk briefly about him later, but she still made her name for herself. People loved Aaliyah and the energy that she brought and her talent. And so she was breaking those contracts, and they weren't going to control her anymore. But also, as an introvert, she keeps her private life very private and her struggles very private. And she moves on to conquer them and find the solution. But this is done very private. This is why we never heard her talk much about R. Kelly, right? Because it's in her to be that way. And also because she's so young, and over, lifetime, she's so young, put into these adult situations. And she was starting to break away and break the mold. And it was like, again, there was a problem that was being caused with her doing that and breaking these contracts and switching up these deals. And, then I'm flashed to the Bahamas. Now we're at the flight from the Bahamas, and that's where she died. And that was the first time ever that her mom and her dad and her brother and nobody wasn't there with her. This girl who has been watched and groomed and put on stages to perform and always being there with family and groomed for this lifestyle and managed, etc., by all these people all the time. But all of a sudden, this one time, nobody's there with her. Sounds a little sacrificey to me. I don't know. But yeah, miraculously, nobody's there with her on this flight, on this video shoot. Like I said, they've always been there. They've always been controlling her life. This girl, that's all she does. And, let's go back to the Beyonce thing. Beyonce married to Jay-Z. And, there's the whole thing with Jay-Z and Aaliyah. And I think Aaliyah didn't go along with it. She saw it for what it was. Her soul is still good. It's still aligned with God, even though it's stuck in this karmic cycle with these people, in these situations, lifetime after lifetime. She still carries a sense of innocence and God and doing the right thing and changing for the better on the collective for what's better for everyone. There's a lot of that in her energy. And I don't think she took the offer, which was to get with Jay-Z and be Queen Bee, right? Because if Aaliyah would have done that, I think Aaliyah would still be alive today, and Beyonce would not be married to Jay-Z. And it also reminded me a lot of the Selena energy, because I feel the same way about Selena and J-Lo. And I know I'm going to get some hate about that, but I don't care. Anyway, Aaliyah said no. And here we are, Jay-Z and Beyonce, they're the fucking elite, whatever. No, Aaliyah was with Damon Dash, and I really think, honestly, I don't think he knows what the fuck is really going on. I think he really loved this girl, and she really loved him, and she didn't go for the, blah, 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 I'm going to marry Jay-Z and be Queen Aaliyah. I'm going to go for who my heart and soul really loves. This was, the Damon Dash guy, the guy that she was with when she actually died. But at the same time, Beyonce and Jay-Z, now they're, R&B royalty. And as I said, don't forget, Aaliyah comes from that R&B royalty. But all of this was set up. It always is. She was born to the right people. She was groomed that whole way. They set her up. It's all done from the beginning. And speaking of R&B royalty, fucking R. Kelly, who everyone always said was so great. And I'll tell you right now, I never really liked R. Kelly. But anyway, because he was messing with her. I got some issues with Elvis about that too. Let's just put that out there, because he's messing with the young one too back in his day. Anyway, that's all of that child bride, ritual, human sacrificing, virgin sacrificing shit that I'm talking about, that like she was showing me her soul has lived that karma over and over and over, lifetime after lifetime, whatever royalty it is, however we're doing it this time, you know what I mean? But they're still fucking doing it. That's the point, right? And she says not much about R. Kelly, just like she didn't in life. But she explains that part to me, that it was all part of that ritual child bride type of stuff, and that even for a moment she may have thought that she did love him, but she immediately says it's like that Stockholm syndrome, right? And as I said, you guys have to understand, this woman's mind is super intelligent. So she's like, it was a psychological thing. I knew it wasn't right, but to do it was what it was, because I was kind of groomed that way, right? They put me with this, and this is what I'm supposed to do, and so I do it. I mean, they literally married the woman off. I'm sorry, the girl. She was not a woman. She was a little girl, and they married her off to a grown man, and her parents signed off on that. So no one's fucking innocent here. You know what I mean? Again, with all of this stuff, however we're doing it, okay, maybe we're not throwing 14-year-olds off the cliff into the volcano, but basically, you know what I mean? Maybe in a different way. Oh my God. I hate R. Kelly. He's a fucking pedophile. And she was one of his first victims, absolutely. But, you know, she loved doing what she did at the same time. She loved performing. She loved singing. She loved writing. She loved acting. She loved being a performer. She wanted to still do that. And she was breaking those contracts and she was moving away and she was causing some chaos and stuff. But at the same time, it needed to be done because it was that time. Time for her to try to break away. And that's also what her soul has been doing, no matter what. And as I said, you know, being in this R&B family, and her uncle who had the record label, who was with Gladys Knight and the Pimps, and you see the agendas over and over with the Supremes and Quincy Jones, and you know, you go into Rick James, and then you take it into the next generation. We're talking DMX and Jay-Z and Beyonce, Aaliyah, R. Kelly, right? Nas, Mary J. Blige, Whitney. Whitney got some issues. Biggie, Tupac, generations. All these people trace back to the same people, the same singers, the same record labels, the same Hollywood movie awards and shows. They all tie into each other. And some of these people conform and make deals and sacrifices, and some don't. And some try to get out, and some try to speak about it and speak out about it or whatever. And those are the ones that always end up dead or in jail every time, you know. And if they conform and sacrifice, oh, all of a sudden they're king and queen of the R&B industry, and they're gods in our society. And you know, they're told they're this great, beautiful, you know, talent. They're geniuses, and oh yeah, they have all these kids that are now going to grow up and be geniuses and great talent. Get the fuck out of here. Over and over again. Most overrated bullshit I've ever heard, if you ask me. So it just happens to be that Aaliyah, her family, her managers, her owners, okay, because that's what they were, her owners weren't on that fucking flight where she's filming a video where you guys fucking watch her and make her perform her whole fucking life. All of a sudden, nobody's there. And the pilot just happens to be drunk and coked out of his mind and unlicensed. Oh yeah. You motherfucking elite royalty R&B people don't know this is going on? Bullshit. It was all set up. You know what I mean? That's what it comes down to. Because they control every aspect of Aaliyah's life, her career. This just slipped by them? No fucking way. And then all of a sudden, Jay-Z and Beyonce just happen to be king and queen R&B elite couple. Yeah. After they merge. Yeah. And Aaliyah rejects that shit. Breaks labels, breaks contracts, goes off, breaks image bullshit, tries to do her own thing. People are loving her. They love her realness. They love her intelligence. The energy is reciprocated back to her, that goodness, right? Because she's still in line with God. And so what do? Her fucking plane crashes. And it was overloaded, that plane. And the schedules were messed up, and the weather and the issues with the set, and things were not going right. And Aaliyah, for someone who, with her energy, being so, gotta be perfectionist, gotta be on time, gotta do things right, gotta stick to schedules. She's actually Capricorn Virgo. Oh my goodness, we'll talk about that later. Overloaded. And where are we getting, you know, to, and when are we getting there, and how are we doing it? And they fucked up everything. And she had things to do, and she had wants and needs, and she was rushed, and things were half-assed. And that plane crashed on purpose. It was overloaded with cargo. The pilot was overloaded too, apparently. You know, my stepfather actually flies planes, and when I hear that there's like 8 people, I mean, you're talking these little planes in the Bahamas and shit. That's like when you fly from one island to the other, and Honolulu, the main island, and Hawaii and shit. What are they doing with that many people on the plane and that much cargo? Is exactly why it went nose down. Anyway, nobody seen this? Nah, that was a bunch of bullshit. And the crash instantly, Aaliyah, she burned alive instantly. And, I believe that she had previous premonitions and dreams and that had made her afraid to actually fly. But, before this, it was something about the time schedule and the opportunity and the ability for them to just, this was the time. And they made it happen. It was almost like just opportunity. And they made it happen again, and they sacrificed her all over again at a very young age, like they always have, lifetime after lifetime. And she was so smart. She kept a 4.0 average, and she had a bodyguard all through high school. So, she was controlled, she was groomed, she was part of that world from birth. It was decided what and who she was to be. And that perfectionist, that OCD, that gotta please everyone attitude, it made her great at what she did. But then, because of her intelligence, because of her connection and her goodness and connection to God, no matter what she was born into, really made her drive just, unbeatable. And it just made her attitude great, and she just really had to please everyone. But at the same time, she knew that she was one of the best at what she did. She knew she was good at what she was doing, and she knew that she was gaining that strength and that confidence to actually really go her own way. And she was starting to have that support and that positive energy and her fans. And like I said, she had chose love over money. And she was smart, and she was intelligent, and she was learning the law, and she was learning about these legal contracts and the things that she was bound to and tied to. But she was also learning spiritual karma and contracts too, because she realized what she was part of and what she was born into. And she was trying to break out. She was trying to break away and then speak out. And she knew that the messages were already there, that they had been put into her message. The messages had been put into her music, her relationships, her look, her style, all of these things, right, back in the day. And so she had realized they were putting the music and the agenda in the messages and the music, and she started putting her own messages and her own music, right? She started using it to break herself free and to break herself from those contracts and those rules, right? And she was sending her own message. But then her fans were supportive and responding, and it was lifting the energy, and it was changing the energy, right? And then they stopped her energy, sacrificing her like they always have, lifetime after lifetime, just like they have before. It was her family, her boss, her whatever. Maybe last lifetime it was the king or the queen, or it was the priest or the religion, or whatever it is. Like I said, whatever lifetime, whatever gender, whatever reason, time period, life after life, every fucking time they have used Aaliyah's energy in this way. They have used her beauty, her talent, her intelligence, her body. They used her and they sacrificed her. But I think this was, something that she figured out over time through her astro travels and through the karma, and now through the reincarnations. And when she comes back, she's like stronger every time, and she exposes more every time. And definitely there's a feel that she is a teacher in some way, in some spiritual world aspect way. There's something special about her soul energy And that's the reason why they keep harnessing her soul energy. But the truth, that special light, that goodness that embodied her in her heart and in her soul, as I said, no matter what she was born into, that goodness embodied her heart and her soul, and it keeps shining bright like the star that she really was. And so I just got to say, Aaliyah Dana, absolute beautiful, stunning woman who was an absolute beautiful, stunning soul. God rest her soul. Amazing energy read to connect with the energy of Aaliyah. I feel very blessed and grateful, like nothing I've ever felt before. And now we will talk about her birth chart. So for Aaliyah's birth chart, she has her sun in Capricorn. This is all about being that boss bitch, straight out. Whether it is money or career or being a mother or doing both, they do it. They're all about that money, that success, that drive, being that risk taker, being a planner. They can be introvert and slow moving and shy until they climb those mountains, dominate, and take over, right? And that was her sun. Moon was in Virgo. This is where that introvert, OCD, psychic ability, emotional anxiety, stress, internalized, sensitivity, sympathetic, but analytical, practical, detailed, and oriented with the moon in Virgo. And as I was saying in her energy read, that's exactly why she was so good at what she did. She was so intelligent. She had that drive. Her Mercury was in Capricorn. Lots of earth energy with the Capricorn again, and Mercury makes it so that she was very practical in her communication, having that engineer mind, being able to solve puzzles, mind focus on details with strong purpose and a need to engage with the world and achieve. No time to talk about it forever. They got to do it. That's Mercury in Capricorn. Venus in Sagittarius, all about love for travel, a desire for relationships to be playful and free. Also can be a tease. Partners must inspire them but challenge them to keep them interested. And again, that Venus in Sagittarius, love for travel, also could bring in that fear of travel too that I was talking about. I knew that she had premonitions before her death that she was afraid of flying and stuff because of those premonitions. Anyway, her Mars in Capricorn, very driven to success. Mars in Capricorn, all about being goal-oriented, yet hard-headed. Slow to anger, but again, climbing those mountains. Mars is all about aggression and action. You combine that with Capricorn's drive and success, and it's a you can't tell me nothing, I got this. But did she not break away and do her own thing? And there it is in her chart. Jupiter in Leo, but her Jupiter was retrograde. So when Jupiter is retrograde, this is all about pressing your luck, pushing the limits, win or lose, you learn the lesson. The combo with that Leo brings in that loyalty, that love, that amusement, that creativity, being a master of your craft, higher mindsets, religion, spirituality, growth, expansion, pressing that luck, learning those lessons. Jupiter retrograde in Leo, amazing energy. She carried that through her life, definitely. Saturn was Virgo and retrograde. So Saturn retrograde, this is going to bring in that energy of a lack of father in your life. Now, even if you know your father, he was always there or whatever, he was always working or he was part-time dad or whatever the case, it's a lack of father in your life, something to do with karma, even a lack of that father sense in God. They step back, the universe step backs and tests you and see what you will do. Virgo, is all about growing up quickly when it's in Saturn retrograde. Constant work routine, service, detail, patience, but the need to keep a schedule. Here comes all that energy, right? As we were talking about being born to that R&B elite, right? Karma testing you. What are you going to do? She keeps good karma, though. That's great. Now, here's something I felt was really interesting. Her Uranus was in Scorpio, right? That's all about unconventional thinking. But what I noticed, Uranus in Scorpio is exact same as DMX, and they were friends, and they had a lot of the same fucking shit going on with these contracts in this music industry, as I was telling you guys. And in their birth charts, both of them, Uranus and Scorpio, Aaliyah had that, so did DMX, all about unconventional thinking, destruction of false foundations throughout your whole life. And I said, that's intense. I say that every time I see it. Death, transformation, and rebirth, and the planet of rebellion and innovation. It's all about being determined, getting down to the gritty of life, the dark side, seeing it, also exposing it, also that attractive sexuality, in Aaliyah's case, being sexualized very early on, young ages, child bride shit, right? All that is playing out here. Sexually attractive, being almost hypnotic. Both Aaliyah and DMX carry all that energy. Let's just put that out there. I thought it was very interesting. They both have that placement. Aaliyah's Neptune was in Sagittarius. This is all about being that free spirit. Travel, astro travel, adventure, learning, expanding, psychic talents. She carries a lot of psychic energy, as did DMX, actually. Expanding these senses, though, these psychic senses and the spirituality. And as I said in her energy read, she really has figured out some shit on the other side, guys. It's pretty amazing. Now, her Pluto was in Libra, and there's something there with balance, right? And Pluto is all about generational changes, renewal, spiritual development. Comes again, generational things, right? As we were talking about with the karma in her soul. But in her chart, Pluto in Libra brings that in. Also brings in that obsession with power, seeker of injustice. Pluto Libra is all about saving the world, but still hard to accept the justice or the injustice. Like, they still have a hard time accepting it. Now, this I thought was really interesting because her ascendant is Aquarius. Ascendant Aquarius, this is all about being humanitarian, but yet a socialite, right? Idealistic, but yet practical. And then rebellious. There's this beauty, this elegance, setting fashion trends, ideas, creativity, connections with music, that Aquarius energy as an ascendant. Support, respect, and trust, so important. And I really feel that she carried all of that with her through this lifetime in the energy. And it's amazing to see, her actual birth chart and her placements and how the energy carried out. And now we'll do the tarot card reading, see what the cards have to say. So it was really interesting to me because it was unexpected. As I said, I did not expect to, connect and talk to the energy of Aaliyah. I didn't even realize it had been 20 years. I still remember, of course, because like I told her, I was a fan. I played your music at my wedding, but I never really understood what was going on with all of that. I didn't like the energy. I don't know what to say. It's not that I didn't like you. I didn't like the energy. I actually liked you very much. I didn't like the energy. There are other people that I've been very vocal about that I don't like. And it's funny to me to see them now be part of the R&B elite and Hollywood elite and all this stuff, and everybody loves them, and I don't care if you like them or not. If I don't like your energy, I don't like your energy. And people don't get it, but I'm just like, that's the way I feel. Never felt that way about Aaliyah. Always loved her energy, was always a fan of hers, always liked her music, always felt like she was different from, the other girls that they were pushing around that time in the 90s. Had a whole lineup of them. But there's always that, there's always that agenda being pushed. And I see that in the music industry and in Hollywood. And like I said, they like to act like, oh yeah, it's just a coincidence. I worked really hard. Not that they don't. I mean, this woman worked her butt off. She was perfectionist and she was super intelligent, keeping a 4.0, all that kind of stuff, as are most of them. But at the same time, like, I don't know, it bothers me that nobody says anything about this. Everybody acts so shocked that R. Kelly's a fucking pedophile. And I'm sitting here going, haven't we known this since 1992? And maybe she was going to speak out more. Maybe she was going to say more stuff, and that's what they were afraid of. Then I know for a fact they were afraid of the way that, everybody just connected with her energy. Her energy is really good. People really like her. Like, it was giving her strength on a different way, and they were like, oh no, we have to cut that off. But I think, she has things to say. And more will probably be coming out soon, especially now that R. Kelly is getting sentenced. Let's see what the cards say for the energy of Aaliyah. Capricorn, Virgo, incredible combination there. And it's all in the eyes. I will say it over and over, this girl in her eyes, beautiful. Wow, look at this. Amazing. So, wow, wish fulfillment on the bottom. What do we have here? We have the Empress. So, planning, growing, Empress, right? Queen of Queens here. What do we have here? We have the Emperor. All about King of Kings here. Soulmate energy. What do we have? Death. Major transformation and change, actual death, coming through. Bottom of the deck, it's all about that family tie. With the Four of Wands, we're talking about family, harvest, wish fulfillment. Amazing energy. I'm telling you, it's karmic. It is fucking karmic. It is family tie kind of shit over and over, cycles. Interesting. Let's verify the Empress. Hangman. See, the Empress is stuck here, hanging out in that limbo. And the Emperor, what's he doing? Searching the world completion, cycles completed, the cycle's coming to a completion. That's good. There with the world, good luck, karma. Putting in that work with the Eight of Pentacles on the bottom. Interesting. And verify the death. Wow. A tower. Wow. This could be that major change. Brings in a shocking conclusion here with the tower. Could be some more death coming in, some more information about death and things like that. See all this transformation there with the butterflies that follow around the angel of death? Yeah. Amazing. Nine of Pentacles. Been very independent. Earth energy coming through. One more for this death and tower. I'm amazed. I really am. Even in death, this girl, her energy is amazing. Queen of Swords. Could be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius coming through, bringing that truth, bringing that straight up message. Wow. Secrets revealed on the bottom with the High Priestess. Intuition. Secrets revealed. This could even be like a lawyer or, someone of authority here with the Queen of Swords. Also, she had that Aquarius ascendant. She really brought a lot of that Aquarius energy. Interesting. One more. It's all coming to an end. That's amazing. So the transformation, there's a death. There's a major transformation or an actual death that brings in a shocking tower. Here comes the Queen of Swords. It reveals all of that backstabbing, all of that Ten of Swords coming out. Wow. Last one. King of Wands. Amazing. Again, I gotta call it soulmate energy. And I had said before, I don't think that the guy that she was with when she died was really involved in it. If anything, he might be finding something out here. Changes everything. Wonder if he is fire sign. Wow. Amazing. Capricorn energy with the devil again with this toxic bond. Could be marriage, could be soulmate, could be toxicity, could be overworking, could be just the devil himself. Jeez. Feeling left out of the cold with the Five of Pentacles. These people with these contracts, these things are real. I mean, you're talking elites here. Yeah. Cycles, limbos, transformations, death, information's revealed. Yeah, wounded warrior here. Nine of Wands, complete resistance. King of Swords, again with the soulmate energy. Truth, all about that truth, man. Star. Beautiful. She is a star. And this girl, her soul is really beautiful. And I think even in death, there's going to be some shocking realizations being realized here with the Tower. There's some truth here coming out with the possible air sign. There's all this backstabbing lies is coming to an end. I think there's a fire sign going to help. Capricorn's on the board. That's her energy. Also, those ties, those karmic, toxic ties, lots of work being put in. Capricorn energy, but what do we end up with? The star. The star. And let me tell you, Aaliyah, you are definitely a bright, shining star forever. This cycle. Wow. Bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Cups, someone bringing an offer. Oh my goodness. And the Knight of Pentacles. This offer is really slow and steady. Might not even be a big offer, but there are reunions with old friends and old ties. I don't think this is done. Then again, as I said, her soul is definitely tied into reliving over and over this karma, but every time she gets stronger and more is revealed. Wish fulfillments, gifts, talents, reunions with old friends. I don't think this is done, and I wouldn't be surprised if we find out more information about Aaliyah here soon. So thanks so much for watching. That was amazing. That was an amazing energy read. Look back on some of her, music and documentaries and everything, and keep that energy alive. That good will, happiness, perfectionist, beautiful, amazing woman that she was. Keep that energy going. Keep giving her good energy, guys, because she is using it out there on the astro. Again, thanks so much for watching. Bye.